this question's kind of a broad question, but I was thinking about what a terrific band you have. And then I thought, gosh, Wayne was with the Messengers, he was with Miles, you had Weather Report, you've always managed to be part of these fantastic groups, and this one you put together. So I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit about your feelings about this band and how it might compare or contrast with earlier things, earlier groups.
Well, this group, putting together this group was not so much of putting together, but it's waiting for these gentlemen to arrive so that we can continue something that could easily be wiped out. And it's courage to express what you want to express under the Constitution, and this form of art is actually acts out what the Constitution is talking about. It's a very democratic, and the most democratic is becoming more. The most democratic is becoming more and more democratic. So, which to me is like a form of enlightenment, which is becoming more and more and more enlightened, not ever arriving, but never being stopped.
Good, I like that. Thank you. Can you tell us a little bit about each member individually?
Well, Brian Blade, the drummer, is a unique person. He, I think he's on his way to being able to tell stories through his craft in a way that is necessary. It's befitting without him carrying banners and protesting about this and that and everything like that. But he has a compact self what do you call it? Survival kit, so to speak, and the same goes for John Patitucci, who's equipped, sort of, I would say, through all of the musical corridors, classical and everything like that. But also he's equipped to tell the story that music is telling about the eternity of life, and we're celebrating life. So these people and Danilo Perez, the same about him too. They're all ready to celebrate the eternity of life and confirming that for people who do not have any faith in the next moment.
That's a pretty interesting answer. Wayne, you've been at the forefront of jazz for so long, and the Newport Festival has been an important contributor to jazz, and you've appeared here many times over the years in different configurations. Can you give us a little perspective on your thoughts about being here again, and maybe a particular memory from over the years that stood out?
Well, I remember one time I was working with Miles, and I was late coming to the festival here. We had plane trouble. We had to change planes in Oslo, Norway. And I thought I was alone, but Maxine Sullivan was with me, and she said, I'm late too. So we flew in, and as I arrived at the bandstand, Miles and the band, they were just coming off. And I was thinking about explanation, and maybe they didn't know all I was walking up the stairs, and Miles just walked right by me. Before he passed me, he grabbed my hand with my salary, and he just shook my hand, and he said, I know, and kept walking.
That's a good story. I like that one.
That's a good memory of
that's a real good one.
Something that happened here, and I think he knew that here it counts. Nobody knew what was going on, but he knew. Everyone knew I was late. And when Miles walked by me, he didn't say anything. He said, oh, Wayne's going to get it. But he said, I know, and kept going.
You've also been at the forefront of composing. How does somebody creatively keep that edge? Always be finding new things. Always be setting a standard. How do you do that for over such a long period of time?
And it's no. I feel like anyone hardly noticed that, but it's something like in the there's a line in the movie called The Red Shoes, and this dancer Victoria Page asked Boris Lermontov. He asked her first, said, "Why do you want to dance?" And she said, "Why do you want to live?" He said, "I don't know, but I must." But to elaborate on that, maybe in one word or two, I think if you're trying to do something new or original, this is maybe a way of still confirming to other people who have no belief in anything. They have no faith. They give up and want to commit suicide or whatever. Jump off bridges or settle for that divorce, or like that. So finding out what this is all about. What is music for? What are we are? What are we for? We're what's language for? So if I could come up with, like Steven Spielberg, he's always coming up with something, and this may extend someone's life and the value of their life and their contribution to nations and peace.
That's a great answer. I know you're a busy man, and you've given us some wonderful things already. I have as much as I need. Is there anything else that's, in terms of educating young people with music, or what the art form means, or how you feel around the world, how it's American jazz great American art form is received? Is there anything like that you want to talk about?
I just would say that all music, to me, the word jazz doesn't mean anything except, for me, it means no category. For now, temporary, furtherance of the meaning, and the word classical means no category really too. I just think that all music is neutral, and it's the sound of itself is a neutral thing. The intention, like a judge asked, what are your the intention behind it, the intentions that the humans have at their grasp, at their fingertips, behind all of these treasures in life. Like Shakespeare, that's the question. To be or not to be, or something like that, kind of fits. Shakespeare was very hip, and dig him for what he did. So, if music is neutral, it's like a piece of clay. And when a producer tells a young, this cannot be done in the studio or something like that, or not a producer, but someone else, another musician, their parent or something, you can't do that. The young people think music is a piece you can take it and make it and break it and fix it and everything like that.
That's cool. Okay.
For starters.
That's great, Wayne. Thank you very much.
All right.
That'll do.